Everyone in her village called her the girl with big dreams. But no one knew how far Shido was willing to go to make those dreams come true. She wanted success so badly that when the right doors refused to open, she built hers. Shido was born into a poor family. Her parents were hardworking, but no matter how much they toiled, the money they made could barely feed the family. From childhood, Shido promised herself that she would break the chain of poverty in their family. She was bright, ambitious, and full of ideas. But when the time came for her to further her education, life showed her its cruel side. Her parents couldn't afford to send her to the university. Her father sold their only goat, hoping it would help, but the money wasn't even enough to buy her admission form. Shido wept bitterly that night. She felt like her dreams had died before they even began. But one thing about Shido, she never gave up easily. In the months that followed, Shido tried everything she could to make money. She sold second-hand clothes in the market, roasted corn by the roadside, and even helped people wash clothes for a small fee. But no matter how hard she worked, nothing seemed to work out. Each business failed before it even started. People in the village began to laugh at her. You want to be a big woman, but you can't even roast corn properly. Shido ignored them, but deep down, she was tired. Tired of suffering, tired of failure, tired of watching others succeed while she remained poor. After a few years, one hot afternoon she was scrolling through her Facebook. She saw an advert that caught her attention. It said, "Invest 50,000 and get double in 2 weeks. Real estate investment, legit business, trusted by thousands." The comments were full of excited people. Some said they had already received their double money. Shido was shocked. So people are making money like this. Just invest and get double, she thought. She quickly sent a message to the man behind the advert. He claimed to be into real estate. He told her how he collected money from people, used it for business, and paid them back double. That night, Shido couldn't sleep. If this man could do it, why couldn't she? She didn't have a big company, but she had ideas. She could create her own version, something that sounded real and believable. The next day, Shido called 3 of her friends, Tina, Blessing, and Ene, and shared her plan. "My sister," she said with excitement, "I want to start a farming business. I'll collect money from people, use it to plant yams, millet, and potatoes with the farmers in my village. After we harvest the crops, I'll sell them and give my investors double of what they put in." Tina looked doubtful. "Are you sure this thing will work?" "Yes, Shido smiled confidently. "Even if it takes months, farming always brings profit. We'll all be rich." Her friends hesitated at first, but when they saw her determination, they agreed. Each of them contributed some money, and Shido began her new business. At first, Shido was serious. She actually partnered with some local farmers and planted crops on rented land. She visited the farms every week, took pictures, and posted them on Facebook. Months later, when the crops were sold, she made a little profit. Then she added her savings to the money and paid her friends double. They were shocked and impressed. "Shido, this your business is real, You mean you doubled our money in just few months?" Her friends were so excited that they told everyone around them. Soon, more people wanted to invest. Shido smiled. For the first time in her life, she felt powerful. As the money poured in, Shido expanded her business. She collected money from strangers, church members, even her secondary school teachers. She continued to pay the earlier investors with money from the newer ones. Everyone believed she was a genius businesswoman. In less than a year, Shido became the talk of the town. She moved to Abuja, bought a new car, a shiny Mercedes-Benz, and started dressing like a celebrity, living the baby girl life. She took pictures beside warehouses, tractors and sacks of grains, and posted them online with captions like, "When you invest wisely, success will follow you. Hard work and smart investment brought me here." TV stations began to invite her for interviews. She spoke confidently, teaching others about agricultural investment. People began to call her the smart farmer. Shido's fame grew beyond her imagination. She started hosting business masterclasses in hotels. People paid to attend, eager to learn her secret. Whenever she walked into a restaurant or church, people whispered, "That's Shido, the young millionaire farmer." Her parents were proud. Her mother would often say, "My daughter is now feeding us. Hey, God is good though." But what they didn't know was that Shido's success was built on sand. Then one day, a big Ponzi scheme in Nigeria crashed. Many people lost millions of naira overnight. Fear spread everywhere. Investors began to panic. "Madam Shido, please, I want to withdraw my money." "Shido, I need my money before things go bad." Calls, text messages, and emails began to flood her phone. At first, she tried to calm them down. "Please be patient. Your money will mature soon, and I'm paying in batches. Don't worry." But deep down, she was afraid. Her farming business had long stopped making real profits. The only money she had was what new investors brought, and now fewer people were investing. Still, Shido continued to pretend that everything was fine. Instead of saving the money she had, Shido began buying more things. She purchased 2 duplexes in Abuja and filled them with expensive furniture. When her friends asked why she was spending so much, she laughed and said, "Money must be enjoyed. We only live once." But deep inside, she was restless. She knew her empire was shaking, and one small push would make it fall. And that push was about to come from someone powerful. Shido could no longer sleep at night. Her phone never stopped ringing. Messages came every minute, some begging, some threatening. "Madam, please refund my money. My children's fees is there. Oh. If I don't get double of this money next week, I will expose you." She read the messages and sighed deeply. She knew if she didn't find a way out, her secret would be exposed. One afternoon, Shido received a phone call that made her heart jump. It was from the daughter of a prominent politician, a young girl who had invested millions in her business. Her voice was cold and angry. "Miss Shido, my father wants his money back. All of it, immediately." Shido tried to sound calm. "Please tell him to be patient. I'm paying in batches." The girl cut her off. "You don't understand though. My father doesn't want to hear anything. You have 48 hours. The line went dead. Shido dropped her phone and held her head. Sweat rolled down her face. She knew what it meant when powerful people were involved. They wouldn't forgive or forget easily. Within days, social media was on fire. People started calling her names: fraudster, fake farmer, thief. Hashtags like Shido scam and hashtag bring back our money began to trend online. Videos of angry investors flooded Facebook and Twitter. People stood outside her Abuja mansion with placards shouting, "Give us our money! Shido, pay us back!" The police were alerted. Journalists camped in front of her gate. TV stations that once praised her now called her the young woman who deceived the nation. To calm things down, Shido made a video. She sat in her living room, looking humble and tearful. "My people," she said softly, "I know many of you are angry with me. Please be patient. I'm working hard to pay everyone back. This business is real. I just need a little more time." The video went viral. Some people felt pity for her. Others saw it as another lie. But while everyone was busy reacting to her apology, Shido was busy planning something else entirely. Even before the scandal became public, she had already applied to a university abroad. She had been dreaming of relocating, of starting a new life where no one knew her past. Now that things were collapsing, she saw it as her only way out. Her visa was approved quickly. She quietly packed her things, sold one of her cars, and moved money around secretly through her friends' accounts. When she looked at her reflection in the mirror that night, she smiled weakly. "Finally," she whispered to herself, "I'm leaving all this rubbish behind." But destiny had other plans. Early the next morning, she arrived at the international airport in Abuja. She wore dark glasses and a simple hoodie to avoid attention. Her heart raced as she joined the line for boarding. Just as she handed her passport to the immigration officer, she heard a cold voice behind her. "Miss Shido, you are under arrest." She froze. Her suitcase dropped from her hand. Two plainclothes officers stepped forward. "You are wanted for financial fraud and public deception." Shido's mouth went dry. She tried to resist, but they held her firmly. People around began whispering. Some took out their phones to record the scene. Tears filled her eyes as she was led away in handcuffs. At the police station, reality hit her hard. The walls were dirty, the air was hot, and the smell was unbearable. The same woman who once sat in fancy hotels and spoke on TV was now sharing a small cell with strangers. When the officers questioned her, she tried to lie again. "I was really doing business," she said. "I have farms. I have warehouses." But when they sent investigators to check, nothing was found. No farms, no warehouses, no money in the bank. Everything had been spent on luxury cars, expensive clothes, and vacations. As days turned into weeks, the truth unfolded. Shido had collected money from over 2,000 people. Some had borrowed from banks. Some had sold their land. All because they trusted her. The total money lost was in hundreds of millions of naira. The government formed a special committee to investigate her case. One officer looked at her and said, "You fooled the whole country with your fake farming scheme. You have destroyed families." She had no words. Her once beautiful face now looked pale and tired. Her dreams had turned into shame. One evening, her mother came to visit her in prison. When Shido saw her through the metal bars, she broke down in tears. "Mama, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make life better for us." Her mother shook her head slowly. "My daughter, I told you that not all that glitters is gold. If God does not give you wealth, stealing will only bring you sorrow." Shido cried uncontrollably. At that moment, she wished she could turn back time. After months of investigation, Shido was taken to court. People filled the courtroom, eager to see what would happen. The judge listened carefully as witnesses came forward: friends, investors, and former workers. When it was her turn to speak, Shido spoke slowly. Her voice trembled. "My lord, I'm guilty. I never meant to hurt anyone. I just wanted to make something out of my life." The judge looked at her for a long time and said, "You allowed greed to blind you. You deceived innocent people and destroyed their trust. You must face the consequences of your actions." She was sentenced to several years in prison. While in prison, Shido became a different person. She no longer cared about designer clothes or expensive cars. She spent her days reading books and teaching other inmates about reading, writing, and other topics. Sometimes she would sit quietly in the corner of her cell, thinking about her past. She remembered the early days when she truly wanted to do real farming, before greed took over. She realized that if she had been patient and honest, she could have built a real business. Shido's story became a lesson for many young people. Parents told their children about her rise and fall. The moral is simple but powerful. Quick wealth never lasts. When you build success on lies, it will one day collapse. And that is how Shido's dream of becoming a rich woman ended behind prison walls. She wanted to make it in life at all costs, but in the end, the cost was her freedom. Thank you for listening to today's story. If it touched your heart, please like, subscribe, comment, and share so others can learn from this story too. I'm Aunty Pat, reminding you that every story carries a lesson. Till I come your way again next time. Bye.